London. At the end of the last war, this city had a massive housing problem. Over 150,000 families in desperate need of homes. One solution was to move a large part of the population away from the smoky, noisy and crowded capital out into newly created communities where they could live, work and play in healthy surroundings. This is how our town of Basildon in Essex was born, one of 8 new towns created by the government in the 1940s. Many of the Londoners who moved into new homes at Basildon were following the trail of their parents and grandparents, who, earlier this century, had bought plots of land alongside the railway in what is now the new town area. There they built cheap homes for themselves and their families. It was the problem caused by these substandard properties, largely built on unmade roads, and then housing some 20,000 people, which, in 1949, swayed the government in favor of Basildon for development as a new town. When the first pioneers moved in, the nearest shops were 3 or 4 miles away, and entertainment facilities were restricted to 2 ancient cinemas in the older parts of the town. The makeup of the new town, which covers an area of 7,818 acres, has changed dramatically since that time 20 years ago. The focal point of the town is the spacious pedestrian-only shopping centre, with its shops and offices, 3 cinemas, dance hall, discotheques and restaurants. The District Council's contribution to entertainment in the town centre is a purpose-built arts centre, one of the first in the country. It provides both professional and amateur entertainment and a 3rd cinema. Another council facility is the Gloucester Park swimming pool, one of the busiest in southeast England. Basildon waited a long time for hospital facilities, but in 1973 an ultra-modern general hospital opened its doors. With over 370 bed spaces and the most up-to-date medical facilities in the country, it cost over £7 million. One of Basildon's most treasured assets is its close proximity to the countryside. Only 15 minutes walk from the town, and much less by car, the parkland offers a sharp contrast to the stark nakedness and cold brickwork of the new town itself. In Dry Street, Langdon Hills, one can catch a glimpse of the old Basildon. Narrow streets, a mixture of homes of various standards, many forms of construction, wooden, pebble-dashed, substandard dwellings which have now largely been swept away in the path of the development bulldozer. And there are also attractive thatched cottages, which would do credit to rural Essex, or indeed other picturesque parts of the country. All that remains of the old town in many parts of Basildon are the churches, around which the community life of the inhabitants originally revolved. Lying north of the new town is the ancient town of Billericay. It is justly proud of its connections with the famous Mayflower, which carried several local residents when it sailed for America in 1620. Billericay desperately clings to its links with the past, particularly its ancient buildings in the High Street, which is an official conservation area. Even in the relatively short history of the new town, planning ideas have changed. These earlier houses were built on garden city principles, with sizable gardens and open spaces, and with very little thought for the motor car, which now dominates our lives. After all, who would have ever imagined 20 years ago that car ownership would have increased now by 400%? Later housing, like these private homes, allowed for the two-car families. Basildon might be a young town, but with some 15,000 inhabitants aged over 60 out of a district population of 140,000, care has been taken to provide for senior citizens. This attractive housing development for the aged is at Elliot Close, one of 8 warden-supervised schemes built by the council. Day centres for the elderly feature prominently in the council's services, like the George Hurd Centre, which provides over 3,000 meals a week for old people all over the area. Basildon's most futuristic housing development is the Basildon 5 estate, where the grassed and tree-lined promenades provide safe play for children and others. The youngsters on this estate can play happily and safely. Mother need not worry about traffic. It's nowhere to be seen or heard. For those who crave adventure, the council's 17 play leadership areas provide sport, play and competitions of every description. This one at Kingswood attracts some 30,000 attendances every year, and the whole scheme accommodates 500,000 children annually. Basildon has over 20% of its population under the age of 21. Many of them find their entertainment in the evenings at the youth centres in local schools. One such youth centre is at Woodland School, which during the day provides comprehensive education for 1,500 children. Each neighbourhood housing estate in Basildon has its own small group of shops, but Basildon has a mini town centre with 34 shops, public house, library and health centre and good car parking facilities. It has been developed to take the pressure from the main town centre. Traffic-free shopping is the key to the success of this complex, which is to be repeated at the other end of the town at Pitsea. Lovely tomatoes. It might be London's Petticoat Lane, but instead it is Basildon's town market. It was planned in the early days of the new town to help make the Londoners feel more at home. The market opens 3 days a week. With over 100 stalls and mobiles offering various wares, it is one of Basildon's major success stories, not only with the public, but with the traders too. With cockles and whelks to supplement the fish stalls, the scene resembles sunny Southend-on-Sea, which, after all, is only 12 miles east of Basildon. Just around the corner from the market is Basildon's impressive town square, which has attracted sightseers from all over the world to study the pedestrian-only principle of the design. At first, some of the 205 shop units were occupied by a number of local traders displaced by redevelopment. But gradually, the big multiples and large groups have taken over, sometimes at the expense of the small businessman. And now they are helping to make Basildon a shopping attraction for the region. A feature of the town centre is the much photographed mother and child statue by Maurice Lambert, which symbolises Basildon as a town for the young. Even after 20 years, this description is still appropriate, as can be judged by the proliferance of toddlers and the pram-cluttered entrances to the supermarkets and big stores. The local bus service provides for the transport needs of many of Basildon's working population. But gone are the days when new towns were expected to provide jobs for all their workers. Basildon factories on their own provide employment for 22,000, but an estimated 9,000 residents still commute out of the district every day. For those who earn their bread and butter locally, Basildon's 4 industrial estates provide spacious factories with excellent working conditions. Many of the companies on the estates are household names and export their products to all corners of the globe. Like any other happy community, leisure plays an important role. The district is well served with a full range of leisure facilities, including the commercially operated squash club and the council's 18-hole municipal golf course. If you're interested in even the most obscure sport, you can bet Basildon has a club for it. Lake Meadows Park at Billericay and the town park at Basildon are ideal places not only for sport, but also for family relaxation. If you don't fancy bowling, how about fishing, either on the council's well-stocked lake in Gloucester Park or the Aquatels Recreation Centre, where the £5 million commercial complex also contains Basildon's only AA-listed hotel. This is now fast becoming a well-known conference centre and a base for the tourist. For those who like to make their own enjoyment, just for the fun of it, and for the benefit of charity into the bargain, Carnival Day in Basildon provides one such opportunity. This is one day of the year when people let their hair down, and by so doing provide entertainment for thousands who flock to the town from all directions. Those who say Carnival is dying should take a close look at the procession at Basildon. With the bands playing, the fairground music blaring, and the sideshows run by local organisations, drawing customers in their thousands, the traditional carnival is definitely booming in our town. In a special report on Basildon, the Guardian newspaper once said, "The town is no Jerusalem. Not even the local council or the Development Corporation would claim that. But they do quite clearly realise that towns are about people and must be built for people." It is not the early pioneers who, during their lifetime, will reap the full benefit of the new town experiment. This will fall on the young people in the schools or those who use the playgrounds today. It is they who will one day claim with genuine pride that Basildon is their town.